Markets at a crossroads: oil, inflation, the Fed, and the tech sell-off. What happens when inflation finally cools? Corporate earnings remain strong, and the stock market still moves lower. The latest economic news looked encouraging. The Consumer Price Index fell 0.4% in June, while the annual inflation rate slowed to 3.5%. Core inflation, which removes food and energy, eased to 2.6%. That should have supported stocks, bonds, and household budgets. But markets do not trade only on yesterday's data. They also price tomorrow's risks. The biggest risk is energy. Renewed fighting between the United States and Iran has disrupted shipping around the Strait of Hormuz and pushed oil sharply higher. Brent crude ended the week near $88 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate fine shadished above $82. Both benchmarks gained roughly 16% in 1 week. Why should Americans care about a waterway thousands of miles away? Because the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most important energy choke points on Earth. Roughly 1/5 of global petroleum consumption and more than 1/4 of seaborne oil trade normally moves through that narrow passage. When traffic is threatened, the effects can reach American gas stations, airlines, trucking companies, farms, delivery networks, and grocery stores. The national average for regular gasoline was already approaching $4 a gallon in mid-July. If crude remains elevated, families may feel pressure through higher commuting costs, more expensive flights, rising shipping charges, and another round of price increases. This creates a serious problem for the Federal Reserve. Cooling inflation gives policymakers a reason to remain patient. Rising oil gives them a reason to remain cautious. If energy costs stay high, the decline in inflation could prove temporary. The Fed's next meeting is July 28 and 29, and investors will be listening for one central message. Does the central bank believe the oil shock will fade? Or does it see a new inflation cycle beginning? That uncertainty helps explain why Wall Street struggled even after the encouraging inflation report. The S&P 500 lost about 1.6% for the week, while the Nasdaq Composite fell roughly 2.9%. The sharpest weakness came from semiconductor and other high-growth technology stocks, after a long period in which artificial intelligence enthusiasm pushed valuations higher. Investors are becoming less willing to pay any price for future growth. That does not automatically mean the technology story is over. It may mean the market is demanding evidence. Companies now have to prove that enormous spending on chips, data centers, electricity, and artificial intelligence can produce durable profits. A stock can represent a great business and still become a poor investment when the price assumes perfection. There is a difference between a technology correction and a complete market breakdown. Money has been rotating into energy, financial companies, healthcare, transportation, and other parts of the economy. Investors are not abandoning the market. They are becoming more selective. Energy stocks can benefit when oil rises, but chasing them after a sudden surge can be dangerous. Oil is highly sensitive to military developments, shipping access, government decisions, and global demand. A ceasefire or reopening of shipping routes could reverse prices quickly. The lesson is to understand what your portfolio is exposed to, not predict every headline. Gold delivered another reminder that markets don't always behave the way textbooks suggest. Many people assume we're automatically sends gold higher. Yet gold fell about 2.6% during the week, even as the conflict intensified. Higher oil can raise inflation expectations and the chance of tighter monetary policy. Higher interest rates and a stronger dollar can make non-yielding assets, such as gold, less attractive. Bitcoin also remained volatile north mid-$60,000 range. In periods of stress, Bitcoin often trades less like digital gold and more like a high-risk technology asset. It may recover quickly when risk appetite wanes, but investors should not assume it will always protect a portfolio during a geopolitical shock. So what should a long-term investor do? First, separate your financial plan from the daily news cycle. A diversified retirement account should not be rebuilt every time oil rises $5 or the Nasdaq falls 2%. Second, check concentration risk. If most of your portfolio is tied to the same mega-cap technology companies, you may be less diversified than you think. Owning several funds does not help if all of them hold nearly the same stocks. Third, keep enough cash for emergencies. Volatility is more dangerous when you must sell investments to pay rent, repair a car, or cover a medical bill. Fourth, rebalance. Instead of reacting, if one asset class has grown far beyond your target, trimming it and restoring your original allocation can reduce risk without requiring you to predict the next move. Fifth, avoid using leverage to solve uncertainty. Margin and short-dated options can turn a normal correction into a permanent loss. The market can remain irrational longer-term. A leveraged investor can remain solvent. For the coming days, watch for things. Watch whether Brent crude can remain above the mid-80s or begins moving toward $90. Watch whether gasoline prices continue equilibrating across the United States. Watch whether the technology sell-off spreads into the broader market or remains concentrated in expensive growth stocks. And watch the Federal Reserve's language of its late July meeting. The most important signal may not be whether the Fed changes rates immediately. It may be how officials describe the balance between weaker inflation data and stronger energy-driven inflation risks. This market is sending two messages at the same time. The first is encouraging. Underlying inflation is cooling. Corporate earnings have not collapsed, and investors are finding opportunities at the most crowded technology trades. The second is a warning: oil can quickly change the outlook for inflation. Interest rates, consumer spending, and economic growth. You do not need to choose between panic and blind optimism. You need a plan that can survive both. Stay diversified. Keep emergency cash. Add to strong investments gradually. Do not chase sudden moves. Remember that the goal is not to win every week. The goal is to remain financially strong enough to participate in the years ahead. Do you believe the larger risk for American investors is a new oil-driven inflation wave or a deeper correction in technology stocks? Share your view in the comments. Subscribe for clear market analysis without the hype. And I will see you in the next video.